Hey, ladies, we want you to mark your calendar for October 5th through the 12th, 2025, because we're taking you on an epic pilgrimage to Crete.
That's right. We're doing a beautiful retreat called Awakening the Goddess, where we are going to nurture ourselves from the inside out. You're going to be learning all kinds of sacred sexual practices from both the Taoist and the Tantric perspective. We'll be doing yoga every day. We'll be going and visiting sacred sites and really harnessing the energy of the primordial goddess, meaning the original divine feminine energy that is so alive on this island. I was just there last year and it was a game changer for me. And I was like, Leah, we got to put together the retreat that I want to go to. So this is it.
Yeah, there's something very special about women coming together and healing and awakening each other's Shakti to really resolve some of the blocks, some of the hurt, some of the traumas from the past, to shed that dead weight so that you can become more alive. You can become more magnetic, cultivating trust, cultivating vulnerability, cultivating presence, coming into a new state of consciousness in the arms of a group of really amazing women, sisters, and friends you're going to have for a lifetime, including Willow and I. So join us on the plane. Let's get this party started. You can sign up at sexreimagined.com and let's go to Greece, baby.
What happens when you apply ruthless business analytics to your dating life? Our guest today tracked 60 first dates like a marketing campaign and discovered the algorithm to finding love that dating apps do not want you to know. So in the next interview, she's going to reveal the counterintuitive strategy that finally worked after all conventional dating advice failed her. So I'm Dr. Willow Brown. I'm here with the one and only Leah Piper. We are the co-hosts of the Sex Reimagined podcast, which you're tuning into today. And today we interviewed Meirav Rosenberg. So you're going to love this woman.
Yes, tune in, turn on, and fall in love with Meirav.
Welcome to the Sex Reimagined podcast, where sex is shame-free and pleasure-forward. Let's get into the show.
Welcome, Meirav. We're so excited to have you here. You were actually a referral to us from one of my coaches in Israel. So I'm so excited. He told me all about your work and everything you're doing, and I just think it's really exciting. So tell us how you even got started on this journey.
Well, like my journey started a long time ago. I've had some, so I'm assuming we're talking about the 60 dates, but like all together, yeah, I was definitely a referral. Very happy to be here. And I think that I started it a while ago when I actually built my own business, and my business came from marketing, and I studied business as my degree, and then I moved on to be in PR. And then I moved on to be a marketing director at a theater hall, which I love theater, and I studied theater in high school. And going all the way back to having a very abusive, I think financially abusive relationship where I actually needed to be financially independent. I already had children and I really needed to find a way to make money and have the freedom to do exactly what I wanted and to get everything that I wanted for my children. And that's how I guess I started working days as a marketing director and nights being a web designer, learning like by myself how to design a website. I did it for where I was working at, and then obviously all the marketing that came with it. Digital marketing wasn't a thing back in 2010. I think it was just getting started. Facebook was something that I knew, but not everyone yet. And there were starting campaigns. And well, I started doing it for private people and really getting paid very nicely on my side hustle until it grew into my main hustle. And then what I really did was just take someone, showcase his best qualities in order to then get, business for him. And fast forward so many years later, I finally made enough money to be financially independent, open up my New York business in 2017, and moved to New York with my then husband and 3 kids. And I really found that it gave me so much balance in understanding what was going at home as opposed to how great I was at my work. And I thought to myself, like, okay, that really built so much self-belief in myself that I could go out and then get divorced.
Okay, so let me get this straight. You were in the marketing world and finding tons of success. You had distanced yourself from a relationship where there was maybe some financial abuse, and you knew that you wanted to be independent. And so, boom, 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 you work hard, you're a success. Now you're in New York City, you're running your own business, and you've noticed that by showcasing your clients, that you could take that skill, and as you found yourself single again, you took that skill and you found a way to enter into the dating world for your personal life, kind of borrowing from the skills you've learned as a marketing person, marketing guru, and we're able to become more successful in the dating world. Did I get that right? Is that where we're headed?
I think there are a little bit of other things that went through. We came back from New York back to Israel, where I now live.
Okay.
And yeah, and then like we separated as soon as we came back to Israel. And I actually had to spend my dating during COVID and quarantine. So that's on another, I think, something that we did miss. And I was definitely thinking to myself, okay, so no men are outside. There's no bars. There's no coffee shops. There's no restaurants.
There's all
no,
dating
like,
apps.
Yeah. It's like taking online dating to the next level because there's not a lot of in-person dating.
As much as I believe that app dating for everybody is just opening up your soul to really kind of wanting to receive someone, if it's for sex, if it's for love, if it's for a relationship, if it's for friendship, if it's for like anything, I believe that at that time when I was actually looking for love, for like my really true love, because I was done wasting my time with like nonsense. I really remember being super fucking horny. That was mostly what I remember, because in Israel, no, seriously, because in Israel, I'm writing a book right now. It starts with that. It doesn't start with that, but it starts with that
I was
journey.
really fucking horny.
I was super fucking horny. I was in Israel. It was COVID. What did I do?
No, it wasn't even COVID, because in Israel, we have certain rules because I'm Jewish and because I have to be divorced in our rabbanut, which is like a place of like the rabbis and where you got married. And in Israel, you have to not have sex with anyone until you are formally divorced. And this could actually like really hurt you in the civil law.
I was going to say, how will they know?
Well, if you don't get married
world.
but if you get married to someone who doesn't want to get divorced, they would know. Okay.
Gotcha.
So I was really scared of that. And as soon as I got divorced, I was really, really horny. But also I had to know that I would want to be safe and like keep my own body safe, which is something that I had struggled with as a child. And I remember, okay, so now what do? I don't know anybody. I'm going on dating apps. It's like all random people. And all of a sudden, I came from this not only financially, but also emotionally abusive relationship. And I actually thought I was a 6. Okay. I was probably like 50 pounds overweight, but still this pretty.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
But
she
like
is
50
pretty.
Pounds.
She's very pretty, you guys.
If you're not watching on YouTube, go check her out. She's a knockout.
Gorgeous
and
girl.
Resilient as hell. I love this. Keep going.
Definitely resilient as hell. And like 2 C-sections. I had a twin pregnancy and like train wreck of a tummy. I had a lot of low self-confidence. I thought I was a 6 because my husband made me think I was a 3. And like then you go on the dating apps. And really, it was pretty simple. it was actually pretty simple because all of the rules that I had applied to any of my clients, which is like, okay, what do you need? Like a beautiful bio picture? So like, don't I have a beautiful, I know how to take a selfie. Okay. So I know what the best parts of me are. So yeah, let's do some photos. I know where I need to like be placing my,
Your
and I'm like
assets.
pointing
Your
to
assets.
Yeah.
my assets. Exactly. I'm pointing to and I knew what my assets were, and I showcased myself. And then you have to actually do the work before. So, right, like for any business, and we all know this, and coachers, what do they do? You have to have a business plan. So, like, I had a business plan. The business plan was finding love. Okay, now what? Who is my target audience, right? So men, specifically for me, anyone and their choices. And so I choose men. What type of men? Do they need to be of a certain age? So it's really like if you would do like a Facebook campaign, right? Then you
Like
need
an
to target a
avatar.
certain.
You gotta have a certain target audience. What's their age range? What's their demographic? What's their psychographic? What are they
Right.
into?
Maybe how much money do they make a
Yeah,
year?
all
What are
these
some of their
pieces.
values, right? So
Yeah.
you're kind of going through those lists that if you were coaching someone in business, you want them to target their marketing to their ideal client. Like who's the person that is best for their business? And you're applying that to who's my target audience for the best mate.
Exactly. And that's
Yeah.
exactly what I did. So I knew that. I knew how to write my bio. And I knew
Okay.
that, by the way, although that in Israel, I would want, and that was on my list, my like full on huge list of the things that I wanted. Most are intuitively, but most are not. Things that I've learned of what I don't want, and then take the opposite of it, of what I do want in a man, and like being very positive about it.
Can you give an example of that for someone who might be in your position now, who might be struggling with online dating? Give us an example of like, what you don't want, but you may not know what you do want and how you use that hack.
So like from my marriage, I could tell you I didn't want anyone cheap. So the equivalent of it would be someone very generous. And I feel like generous is like a checklist that everyone should have, because if they're generous with their money, they're also generous with their heart. They're also generous with everything that they have because they're generous.
And being a generous
So
lover is
Right.
one of those things. Like you want someone who's invested in delights and pleasuring you, who's not, stingy or doesn't reciprocate very well.
Or
So
like,
that's a
I'll give you a
different thing
little
on
if
the
you
list.
give me a lot.
Right.
like great sex is also on the list. So like the generosity definitely, but also
Applies.
great sex should be there. Definitely applies there as well. And I think one of the other things that I thought to myself that I want him to be very smart and very educated, because not just because I'm educated, and that doesn't matter to me, but mostly I found that certain men are very like hesitant if they're not as smart / educated. By the way, I don't think that smart and educated are like, it has nothing to do with one another. You could be super smart and uneducated, but you could also be very educated and not smart.
True that.
I feel like, I felt like I needed both. I wanted someone who was smarter than me, someone who could keep the conversation going, that I would never run out of things to tell them or talk to them, but also be silent with them. So all of these were on the list. And I remember having one thing on the list that was super intuitive. I have no idea why I chose it. And it was crazy. I asked for number 3 on my list, someone who plays an instrument. I'm like, I didn't ask
You
for
didn't
a
even know where that
musician.
came from, huh? You had no idea.
I didn't ask for a musician.
Some
and like
instinct.
number 3, it was an instinct. And I remember, but I never asked actually anyone until I found my love, my 60th date, which we'll get to, if he plays an instrument. So I really didn't even remember that because it wasn't that important.
And now in hindsight, like looking at, wow, how interesting that my instinct said that someone who knows how to play an instrument will be important for me. Have you discovered the correlation yet? Why a musician actually speaks to you? Now that you have one?
He's not a musician at all. I actually remarried a pediatrician.
Oh, okay.
I didn't
But
even
does he play an instrument? I guess is I'm trying
But he
to get
plays
to the
the
point.
piano. He plays the piano, and I only heard him play once.
Okay,
So
he's
it
not
really-
in a band.
He's not in a band. But I remember, I think that you always have visions, probably of the people that were meant for you.
Okay.
And I always had visions of like, I love beautiful hands. That's also
Uh-huh.
something that you should write down. Like, if you love beautiful hands, not everybody has that kind of,
I like rough
kink.
hands. Yeah, I like
Exactly.
big rough hands. Yeah.
Exactly.
Interesting.
So and really it's everyone likes something super different. That's something that I also found of like your purpose is totally different from another people's purpose. And what you do that comes easy definitely doesn't come easy to another person. So I really feel like if we have a certain desire, then it's there for a reason. And that desire implies to your soulmate. So if you have that and you listen to your instinct, then you'll be better off finding your true love instead of the familiar things that you know.
Okay.
Right. So the
okay.
musician piece was just an instinct. It wasn't something that was really important for you. It was just intuition coming in and kind of like spirit telling you the man you're going to fall in love with plays an instrument. So put
Right.
it up there at the top of the list.
Pay attention to those messages that come through.
Those whispers that you have no idea where they come from.
Cool.
Exactly. Yeah.
Okay. Any other clues like that?
Any other clues like that? Well, I actually, after doing, right, the list of your target audience, I would say, right, what do you want about him? AKA a campaign, okay? What do you want the client to do and what do you want the client to be and who's your future client? Same thing with future soulmate. And so the next thing that I did was write down what our relationship would be. So that's a little bit different, I would say, than like a client, but also in a client, I would say ratio, it would probably be, what do you want that client to do on your website or anything like that? So what I wanted was to kind of figure out what our relationship would be. So it would have to be dual, meaning me to him to me. And I would write that down. And one of the things that I wrote, like I said, even though I was in Israel, I wanted a bilingual person. So think about having dating apps in Hebrew, but you writing your profile in English, right? So if I want a bilingual, if you don't understand English in what I wrote on my profile, where I'm an English speaker as well as a Hebrew speaker, don't talk to me.
Yeah. That's a great way to narrow them down really quickly. Yeah.
Yeah. But although like most people looked at the blonde and, talked to me
Right.
anyway, but yeah, because I figured out, by the way, that I was a 9, okay? Like the amount of people that were on the apps have you beat COVID where you can find no women nowhere else as well. I was like bombarded with so many people. So you had to get really accurate, really fast. And so one of the things that I said that I want someone who sends flowers often.
Mm-hmm.
And I remember, like I went on 60 dates. On the 60th date, I remember going down to the nearest florist shop, the florist shop underneath my building, where I would buy myself flowers every Wednesday. And I remember coming to the store on a Wednesday, and she said, "You're not buying yourself flowers today." And I said, "What?" And she said, "Someone bought you flowers." And she goes and says, listen to these words. And he's very generous.
Nice.
And he plays the piano.
And like,
Yeah.
she didn't say that yet, but he does. And no, and you ask like, what's a generous bouquet, right? And like a generous bouquet here is probably like the equivalent of, like $100. He hasn't even met me, right? It's before our first date. We talked. We decided to go out on a Thursday at 11. Have you quarantining? Okay, there were nowhere to go. And then like, everyone is in their homes, and there's no restaurant. Nothing is open. And he sends me flowers, and she says it's like it was a probably $350 bouquet. Okay.
How did he
Wow.
know where you bought flowers? Did you tell him on talks, on phone calls?
So he needed to pick me up, not the apartment number, but he did know my neighborhood because he used to live in my mom's building.
Okay.
Oh,
So he
many
knew there was a
correlations.
flower shop, and calling him up, telling him thank you for the flowers, which he had the most beautiful, beautiful, like, like card attached to it, written so beautifully. And then he says, you know my sister. And I said, who's your sister? And he says, Donna. And I'm thinking, and I do like the last name with the first name. And Donna was the realtor of the apartment that I, at that time, lived in.
Oh my goodness.
So like that
Lots
was
of
insane.
synchronicity. Yeah, I
Lots
love
of
that.
synchronicities. Yeah.
So many synchronicities. And so he asked the flower shop if he knows me, which he obviously does. And she said, of course I do. And then he says, I'm not asking her, obviously, her apartment number, but can you send her a really big bouquet? And that's the first thing that she says, that he's generous. And check off my list, right? Buys flowers often and generous.
Mm-hmm.
And well, he's a doctor, so that helped a lot.
Mm-hmm.
That helped a lot because
Not
that
just
means
any
he's
doctor.
educated.
A pediatrician.
Not just exactly, but also the check education mark, check smart, probably mark, right? So you can find so many filters have been answered by just these characteristics.
Right.
So just by getting clear, just by writing it all down, I want the nice hands, I want the generous, I want all these pieces, right? These, like, I think a lot of women, more so than men, are probably really adept at like writing these lists, right? So once you've got it really clear and dialed in and spelled out who this person is, what are the next steps on dating apps? Like, how did you take this list and apply it to, I know you wrote it in your profile. That's of course very helpful. But what else? Like, how did you sort through this entourage of people who were coming at you? Like,
It took me a while.
Okay.
60 days. It took me a while.
How long were those 60
Yeah.
dates? Like, in how much time
Was that
did you
6
have?
months?
6 months.
6 months.
6 months.
Okay.
6
And
months.
you mentioned like
7 maybe.
That's really not that long, y'all, who are
No.
listening out there and looking for love and have been looking for years. 6 months is not that long.
But maybe that
But
also like illustrates the success of maybe following Meirav's experience, right?
Yeah.
Protocol. So it's what I pick up and what you're describing is values. You were naming values of yours and highlighting that. Is there anything more you want to say about values and what people can ask themselves to get clear about their values that they may want to put into a profile?
Let's take a quick break.
Ladies, do you want to explore your sexuality and experience true sexual healing?
The Vaginal Orgasms Masterclass teaches you and your partners how to unlock your full sexual potential and awaken the G-spot, the sacred spot, and the cervix for an unforgettable sexual experience. Would learning how to finally surrender and release grief, fear, and uncertainty benefit your outlook on life, love, and relationships? We certainly think so. Common misconceptions of the G-spot, including its anatomy and function as an erogenous zone, will be covered in this course.
Plus, we're going to teach you 7 different massage strokes for the G-spot that dissolve blocked energy and increase your pleasure tenfold.
We're going to teach you how to locate the sacred spot and the best methods to stimulate it for maximum pleasure.
And you're going to learn about cervical orgasm techniques, which are the most powerful and also often elusive style of climaxing. You know, this class is primarily geared toward women, but men have taken it as well and learned so much about how to pleasure their partners.
So get ready for multiple O's, my friends. And you can get all of that at sexreimagined.com/female-masterclass. And for being a listener of the show, we've got a beautiful coupon code for you. It is 20% off this course. Just type in podcast20, that's all caps, podcast20, and get yourself a great deal on this on-demand course.
I actually just figured that out. Meaning 4.5 years into my second relationship, I just figured out the values portion of it. Meaning I thought more of like a mission statement, but I do now think more of the values.
Okay.
I think there's a difference between the list that I made about what I want in my man, what I want a relationship to be, and then we have the values. Because sometimes I think that people don't take into account how much values are such an important part. Like if you have
1,000%.
different political stands, which I'm not a political person, but if you have different it's just another thing that you have, I would say, misplaced in your value system. So I'm a person who thinks that in order to be with a good partner, love is not enough. You do have to have a lot of correlation into your values and also into their priorities. Meaning we can have the same set of values, but we have different priorities in them, then we're like bucking heads.
Yeah,
Yeah.
butting heads. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Willow and I
and-
really feel strongly about values too, as when we work with people. Willow, you want to say a little bit about how you help people, figure out their partner's values so they speak a common language?
Yeah, it's like one of the first things to really, for a couple to understand whether they've been together for 50 years or 20 years or 2 months.
6 months.
It doesn't matter. Yeah, there's just understanding what your own core values are, first of all, is like a huge missing hole for a lot of people. And I always like to boil it down to 2. Like, what are your top 2 core values? And so we've got a little, worksheet on that, little list of values that you can circle all the ones that are really important to you, and then eventually narrow it down to 2, and then compare those values with your partner's top 2 or 3 core values. And are they a match? When I first started doing this with couples, I did it with myself and my partner, and our values just like weren't on target with each other. I didn't care about his values. And while mine were important to him, it took a lot for me to have to reorganize my language so that it spoke to his values, so that I was communicating with him. It wasn't second nature. It wasn't easy.
And I found in my relationships that when I looked at every breakup I ever had, it came down to a value that we just couldn't get past. And in the beginning of falling in love, you're just falling in love. You're concentrating and focusing on all the things that are going great. And you're using the things that are going great to affirm what a great match you are. And you're kind of ignoring some of the areas that you're seeing as like, oh, well, I mean, yeah, you want to be polyamorous, but I really want to be monogamous, but we can work on this. Or you aren't close to your family, but I'm really close to my family, and I love family, and I want to be connected to a partner's family so that I can have even more family because I really love family. I remember a great guy I dated. Man, was he in love with me? And he was a great lover, and we had lots of things in common. But back to you desire to have someone who's really smart. He wasn't connected to personal growth, and my whole life was about going to workshops and bettering myself. And I realized when I was dating again, like, if you don't pursue personal growth out of your own free agency, regardless of my influence, I'm not your girl. Like, I need you to be motivated and to take action in being the best that you can be without my influence, because that's a value of yours. And that, when I realized that about myself, it jumped really high on my priority list of what I was looking for in a partner. So all that to say, we totally agree with you that examining values and having really rich, yummy conversations with someone you're dating about what their values are can be really fun. And I have to add that I dated someone and we really were a mismatch in like 1 or 2 categories, but we were really well aligned in all the others. And I chose not to ignore the places where we were a mismatch. And then I changed the intention of that relationship, that this was someone who was a great person to hang out with. He could be a really great friend. We could have great sex, but he wasn't my beloved. And so I allowed myself to really enjoy dating someone who I really trusted while also looking out for the beloved. And so we both had that agreement that we were going to be each other's, I don't want to say fuck buddies, but basically fuck buddies. And while we were pursuing looking for the beloved, that was a better match with our values. And that really worked for us. Like that turned out to be a great strategy, I have to say. He
And
helped
that's
me pull
another
in the
thing.
beloved.
And I think exactly. And I think a lot of people go into dates, and that's another thing that I want to say that how marketing has to do with dating apps. It's like sometimes you have to try more than once to get to the right client and like to hit that mark and have like that best campaign. And you need to learn so many things in order to get to that point. And you're not the only one who is teaching the lesson or learning a lesson, meaning you have both sides. And one of the things that I think that I went into dating is that I don't need every date to be the one. I want to learn how I'm getting to the one. And sometimes I was the lesson to the guy that I was dating. He didn't teach me anything, but I taught him something. Like there was this guy, my first date. He was a high-tech guy turned poet turned photographer. Okay. And that was really cool. And I remember on our first date, which I was so excited, I was really excited about. It's like I hit on him on Facebook even before I even went on dating apps because I was still like too frightened to do. And like I hit on him on Facebook on a very like cool way. And he like on our first date, we like set up like a casual one because again, still COVID, but sometimes it was open, sometimes it was closed. And then he tells me he's coming with like a baggy pant, like a Indian baggy pants. We have a word for it in Hebrew. And then I said, I'm coming with a dress. I don't understand like what's going on. Like I'm going on a date. And then we get to the date. He's 46. He's divorced, no kids. And I remember I have like really great social skills, especially in my type of work. And I remember talking about my kids the whole entire time. Something in my intuition told me this guy needs to be a dad. Definitely not for me because I'm not having any more kids. I have 3. That's enough. Thank you very much. And I don't want any more. I don't want another baby daddy. And so definitely thought that he was supposed to be. And one of the other things is that he is now. And I remember he's saying to me, and we kept on that Facebook friendship, even if we weren't for each other, but we definitely gave, I think, each other strength. And he is married. His child, I think she's 1.5. I like now like all of his wife's posts with them because I'm so excited for them. And I really think, and he really has told me that I was definitely right. I was definitely right before, when he was looking, when he wasn't like, he's a great spiritual guide today, which is crazy. And I really feel like sometimes we are not learning as we are teaching.
Yeah, I think that's a really important distinction to make so that people remember that there's a lot of purpose to this other than just meeting the beloved, that it's all a journey and that everyone you date is your teacher. And when you can come from a place of showing up in someone's life where you will leave them better than you find them, you give each other these little gifts. They don't have to be the beloved, but they're preparing you for the beloved. So be there with your respect and your reverence. Don't look at it as a waste of time. Look at it as a life masterclass. Drawing you
And
to
I like
the thing.
I like that perspective too of like, I might not have learned a lesson per se from that person, but they learned something from me. And that is really the trust in the universe and the reciprocity of the bigger picture. Like it's not always like I'm going to get from this person because I give to that person, but rather just to be more generous, right? There is, again, just to be more generous with yourself and with your truth and what you know and what you value and sharing. Because I feel like even, pre-COVID, post-COVID, whatever, people are really guarded. They have been really guarded for a long time. I'm actually learning a whole new movement practice right now, which is opening up tissues in my body, which have been showing me, wow, how guarded my body has been. And no one would really call me a guarded person. I'm a pretty open book, but we all hold such deep protection in our bodies, especially in our bellies and our
Mm.
solar plexus and our heart and these
Our vulnerable
front
parts.
chakra areas, and it's like when we can just be like, instead of also putting on a pretense, like I have to impress this person or I have to be something other than what I am, but actually just showing up in your full authenticity. It's such a gift. It's such a gift in some capacity that you may not even ever realize what that is.
I have started to learn Kabbalah from David Guillaume. If you know, like he's all around now, very, very like going on all the like very famous podcasts. He has one lesson which I took and resonated with me because you could call it karma, but it's a different form of what he stated. He says, what energy you bring in is the energy that you receive. And it's not in the way that we are used to, more so like if you bring an energy of flirting, I would say, into a non-relevant conversation, meaning you're flirting with the wrong person, you have a girlfriend back home, then you're going to fight with that girlfriend, whatever you do, because the energy that you have brought into this relationship is that kind that will get you that struggle. So as soon as you bring in, like you said, an energy of like, hi, I'm here for either to learn or to give. We don't know yet. And like, if I could be of assistance, then great. If you could be of assistance, yay, great. If we could fall in love, that would be fantastic. But like most of the time, it really is. I think people are so into the expectations of something that they, again, don't see the value. That's not your person. You did not, that was not on the list. Like, where are you going?
No, I'm curious, did you ever have like a really discouraged moment in this process of 60 dates where you were just like let down by the experience, or you felt a feeling of like hopelessness, or I want to give up? Because so many people I know who wrestle with dating life, especially online dating, the dating apps, is it's fun for a little while and then they hit this like exhausted point where they're just like, fuck, there's no one out there, and their attitude sours. And then it's like they got to dig in deep to try to find the energy to keep going. Did you ever have a moment like that?
So I love that question because the truth is no.
Mm-hmm.
Like I've had times that I needed to rest. Okay. That I needed to not go to the apps this week, have something else that I could do, just be like in my silence, maybe just like tune in to me and like not go on apps. But I never, ever thought to myself that I am going to be discouraged. And one of the things that I tell so many of my, I would say, older single friends, which are like 42, 40, 39, 45, that really want to find a mate but have not yet. And I ask them one really simple question. Do you have a degree? And most of my friends do. And even if they don't, they have learned or studied something for a very long time. How long did that degree take you to get? Usually they say 3 to 4 years. And I said, what did you have to do in order to get that degree? And they said, I had to go to school for 5 to 8 hours. I said, every day, 5 days a week. And I said, did you have any homework? And they said, of course. Did you have any projects? Of course. Did you have any tests? Did you need to learn more for those tests? So just wait 1 second. I have to ask you a question. So it took you, I don't know, approximately 300, 500 hours approximately to like get a degree.
Get
and
good at something.
And you want to find love in 5 dates or less, and then you're discouraged.
Yeah.
And most are like that. So not even the 5, it could be the 10, and then they get and then they don't do it anymore. And one of the things that I remember about me is saying, no, I'm going to find my love. Like that's not an issue. That I have the goal. You remember we talked about
You
like
got the plan,
the business plan.
The business plan. Yeah. Well, and that's
It's like,
probably why you were not easily discouraged as well, because you
had a
knew
plan.
what you were doing, right? You had a plan that you were executing and you were going through it. So I'm curious how you guide others through what you learned. You know, um what's your path to success for those who didn't study marketing and business and know that what KPI is and how to apply it to a dating
Yeah,
life?
what is KPI?
okay, so I have like a KPI and I have a dating KPI. So KPI is a key performance indicator, meaning how do we know if we succeed, right? So key performance indicator, meaning we need to choose one type of, how to measure our performance, meaning how do we know that we grow? How do we know that we're not doing very well? And that's a key performance indicator to see if it goes up or if it goes down. I have a key partner indicator.
Ah, I like that. It's very cute.
Yeah, it's very cute. And that means like, how do you know you're on the right path to the right one? So like I said, usually it's like writing a business plan. I do have obviously a small kind of PDF that I do like a 5-step on how I actually planned out my plan. And it has all kind of marketing tools, but for your dating apps or
Fun.
not even dating apps.
Could even be a good way to learn marketing through a more fun avenue, right?
I don't know. I love marketing, so I think it's always fun, but I guess maybe not for everybody.
Not everybody loves marketing. Some people have a real hate relationship with marketing.
Okay. See, some people have a really hate relationship with apps, like the dating app for dating in general.
Yeah.
Exactly. And we need to get over that hump, I think, through, and the way that I probably go through everything is like I have an Excel sheet or like a task list or a plan. And I always do things 20 steps like before. And that's kind of
20 steps
called
ahead.
a strategy. Yeah.
Kind of like, so
ahead.
you
strategy.
do like reverse engineering. Like, here's my goal. This is what I want. What do I need by this point? What do I need by this point? Working your way from that goal backward to where you are now so that you can get from A to B in a timely...
What did I learn? What did I learn from this person? Do I like that I like that he's funny. I didn't like that he doesn't give me compliments. I love compliments. I want more compliments. That I guess not. That's not what I like. Putting more on the list of I need someone who really wants to give compliments. Okay, or who really like is crazy about me.
It's very generous with compliments. Yes.
Yeah. It's very generous with compliments.
Generosity.
Yeah, exactly.
So does that mean that you wouldn't go on a second date, or let's say you've already been on 3 dates and now you know this about this person, or 6 dates, whatever the amount of dates. At what point do you go, that's missing? So next, do you use that to calibrate moving on to the next person?
So mostly I think I did eliminate a lot of people due to bad sex.
Bad sex?
Really? Truly. Bad
well,
sex
we're in
was
support
like
of that elimination plan.
Yeah.
Where I'm kind of like, well, that's something I can teach you. Let me be generous with my skills here and teach you for the next person.
That's true.
You touch.
Yeah, because you have the patience. I did not have the patience to teach anyone that anymore.
Yeah.
And
that's kind of a kink of mine. So that's a joy. It's not a hardship for this girl.
For you.
Not for everybody.
Not for everybody. Exactly. Like marketing for me. I
think of many friends who would put up with that.
Yeah. So a lot of people really, really went that way. Like I'm sorry. I don't want to deal with that on my second time around. And don't forget, I was on my second time around. I really didn't need anyone's financial help. I didn't really need anyone's children or having children. So I was really like, I just want love. I just want someone to be a partner and just someone to talk to and someone to have fun with. And believe it or not, also being a successful, I would say, more well-off woman was something that scared many men. And I was shocked actually from that because the last time I was single, I was a barista. And so like I was married for like 15 years. So the last time I met my ex-husband he was a client at a coffee shop I worked as a barista at during school. So like that was
Well,
insane that
you bring up an interesting point with this, because I've been working with some men who are divorcing for the first time. They met this person in their late 20s, early 30s. They're now in their late 40s, early 50s. They've been married for 20 years. They're kind of going, how do I do this? Like, who I was when I met my wife was a very different physical body, different emotional maturity level. Like, different, my sex also worked differently. And so here I am, I've been in this other relationship. The passion has dwindled, as it tends to do in long-term relationships. I'm not even sure I know how to be a stud. Like, you have a certain amount of arrogance in your 20s and 30s. And now I'm coming into the dating world again, a little confused about who I am. So I'm curious, because I'm sure you're encountering people as they're following your plan who are trying to sort that out too. Who am I now? You were a barista. Now you're like this successful marketing business owner, CEO. So how did you translate? Were there any parallels? Anything you want to add about that?
So I do, like I said, it was really mostly due to my list and obviously having to ask for someone who can also enjoy the same lifestyle as me.
Yeah. Okay.
And I think that was an important portion of it, because I did actually date someone who was super sweet right before I actually dated my now husband and like the 60th date. And I remember him being so sweet, but like I was living one lifestyle and I actually could not feel good about the fact that he would want to pay for certain things, seeing how his lifestyle was. And I didn't even want, like, he was super sweet. He was super kind, such a gentleman, actually like educated and lived in other places in the world, which was important to me. And I understand why there is a hesitance, because again, I think it's the values again. Just because if I worked so hard on my lifestyle, why do I need to dim my own light? And
so that
Right.
his could shine brighter, or he could take care of
Yeah,
you, or
or
any
that
of
whole
that kind of stuff.
provider thing.
Well,
got
and it
crunchy.
probably also brought up for you, I would imagine, Meirav, like the first husband, the first relationship that had some financial control, right? And was also like abusive with that control. So I think it's important to remember, like, maybe if you hadn't come from that experience early on, you might have had a different like relationship with his generosity. It might have been a different experience for you. So
true.
I'm curious, like in these 60 dates, did it feel like you were like, okay, because it sounds like this guy right before the one, right? He was I always like to say, every person we encounter, especially in intimacy, is a stepping stone to a higher version of ourselves, right? Because that's what we're doing in relationship. We're looking in a mirror, we're seeing ourselves more clearly through that other person. And with these dates, did you feel like on these stepping stones that you were stepping higher and getting closer like each time? Or would you have a really good one and then a few bad ones? I mean, what was the dance?
So the truth is, I really did. I had a couple of, like, I think the only time I was really upset, it was like after probably 3 different really cute guys and bad sex. And then finally having to find someone who's super cute. I actually knew from my past, which was, again, someone, like, it was meant to be for, I don't think he even knows that, but it was meant to be. I think you have to make sure that you check the mark about, are you getting more in tune with you? Exactly what you said. If you're feeling more you, which is difficult, by the way, because I so was not, if you would have known me 7 years ago, I don't think you would be speaking to the same person. Although I still had that marketing office and everything, I was so not in tune to my wants, my needs, anything. It was like eat, pray, love. What egg do I want in the morning? It was like, so like, let's find you. And I think that's how long it took me to find me. 60 days. That's a long time.
Oh, that's interesting.
But it's
Yeah.
not that long. It's really not, Meirav. I know people
For a
who've been
7-month period.
I know
I
people
think
have been doing
is.
it for years, and they're like, "Yeah, I'm learning so much about myself through the dating apps and through the dating world," and but they have not been doing it looking at their KPIs. So I think that's the
Which might
difference.
be the
And I think
change.
that's exactly what I think.
Yeah.
Like they didn't come off with a business. And some people, by the way, it's like I've been asked. Some people come into Tinder or like all the dating just for sex, and that's totally fine. If that's what you're going there for, if that's what you're dating for, that's totally fine if their values are aligned with people that they're dating. Okay.
Right.
So I hate, but if that's not the case, then you definitely have to have like a plan. Okay. You definitely have to have a plan because otherwise you could like go all over.
One thing I thought was interesting is your use of A/B testing as a dating strategy. So for
Yeah,
those
tell
of
us
you
about
who
that.
don't know what that is,
Explain.
maybe you could describe what A/B testing is for those that aren't running businesses that have to do marketing strategies so that we can understand how you took that and used it in the dating world, because this might be something people haven't tried.
Yeah. So what A/B testing is trying out two different products. The same products with two different types of how they showcase that product. So sometimes you'll see an ad or a campaign
Or an
with
email.
with one type of wording or image. And then you'll see the same product, but in a different type of color or a different type of kind of wording to it. And what marketing people do is that they want to see what works better. So the same thing works here. I thought to myself, okay, if I put on, I don't know, like tights and like have a more sleazy photo, right? Who am I attracting? If
Who
I'm
clicks
writing
on my
down,
profile? Yeah.
Let's call it sexy, not sleazy.
okay. But it could also be sleazy if that's what I'm looking for. You know what I mean?
Sure.
So like that, yeah, no, like, but also have like a sexy photo or also like be more, I would say, like dressed up to like make sure that you want to attract certain people. For me, I think I wanted someone to really fall in love with my face because I was very self-confident in other places. And that's kind of what I showcased, but also thinking of with Photoshop, no Photoshop, and kind of do like an A/B testing. What would be the first picture? Who clicked on it? And also one of the other things that I did was kind of A/B test different types of apps. Where do I feel more comfortable? Actually, my husband I found on Bumble. What I found was really great on Bumble that I felt more safe as to choosing the men. And only after I choose the men can they choose me, which I felt really comfortable about. And so that's also A/B testing. Where do you find the better kind of guys that fit your needs? One other thing is answering all the questions. So see how you answer the questions because I love the questions. I think a lot of people like underestimate the questions that they have on dating apps.
Tell us what you're talking about. I'm not familiar with dating apps at all. So what questions?
Okay. So on the dating app, you have your bio section. And then there's this place that no one actually, I don't think that it has to do anything with the fact that you don't know dating apps. Most of the people don't even
Pay
are
attention
not
to this
aware.
part.
They
Well,
don't
isn't it
pay
like questions
attention.
like, what are your hobbies? How do you like to spend your time? Is it stuff like that?
What are you really good at? So I said, I order the best dishes on the menu. So that's kind of like, what are you very special at or stuff like that? And I feel like if someone actually reads through those questions, and that's another thing that I have to say about my husband, when going to our first date, he came to pick me up and all of a sudden I hear all my favorite songs and I'm like, what the fuck? What is going on
He
here?
made a playlist of your favorite songs.
Because I posted my Spotify on the dating app. So
Wow.
he took the whole list, put it in the playlist, and I get in the car. It could be like, and that's what I hear. And that's like that. It's like looking into your profile.
He was paying attention. Yeah.
And so are you. I
Taking
love that
time.
you put your playlist. You are giving
Yeah.
people keys to how to love you.
Yeah.
You are giving people access
It's really
to how to
brilliant.
impress you, delight you, and sweep you off your feet. Ding,
This
ding,
is the
ding.
most excited I've ever been about potentially getting on a dating app ever. Thank you, Meirav. Well, when you think about it from it's like a game, like marketing is a game, right? It's like, how do we fit this puzzle piece into this puzzle? You know, where do things fit together? And I am not great at it, but you know, if you kind of play dating apps as like, this is a business plan. Okay, it's a game, it's a puzzle. How does it all work? How does it fit together for me? Yeah.
Exactly.
So now do you have, you said you have a PDF where you kind of show people how to, I guess, come up with their initial kind of bio. What's your plan for women who come to you? Let's say I come to you and I'm like, help me out. You know, what's the game plan?
So I am working on the 68 Dates to Love book right now. I'm working
68
on writing
dates or 60
No,
days?
60 dates
dates.
to love. 60
Okay.
dates. That's enough. I think that we don't need the
We don't need
68.
8.
We don't need another 8. No, I think I'm done. For now, it's for the second time round. And I'm writing a book on that, and I wanted to give women kind of my playbook on how to write their plan, how to start the bio, what are the things that need to check in with themselves in order to give, I think, the most authentic answers to themselves. And also understanding that the dating app is for you. I have this mantra, what is yours is yours. And I feel like that's how I live my life, by the way, in work and in dating. If he's not interested in me, he's not for me. If he is interested in me and pays attention to the things that I like, that I want, then he's probably like in the proximity for me. And I think a lot of people, and that's one of the most important things that I think that maybe would resonate with most, and something that I had to learn. And it took me forever to learn this because I did not grow up like this. It was the receiving portion of it. A lot of people can love you. It doesn't mean that you will be able to know how to receive their love.
So true. It's a huge one.
Yeah.
We preach and teach that shit all the time.
Yeah. Yeah. Learn how to be a masterful receiver. That is
Too bad I didn't meet you earlier because it took me like forever to learn this lesson. Okay. Forever to learn this lesson. It really was. I remember learning how to give, but it took me so many years to learn how to receive. And even with Tomo, my husband right now, I think it took me 2.5 years into our relationship because I was so emotionally, I think, hurt from so many years, from my childhood, from my ex-husband. And it was just one night that we didn't sleep together, meaning even together, because we moved in, I think, 3.5 years in of our relationship, even after we got engaged, this was. And I remember having a phone call conversation before going to bed. And so we've been 2.5 years together. We still have so much to talk about. No sex involved, no intimacy involved, and just like talking. And I say something that was so like me. I don't know, it was like stupid, quirky, whatever it was. I don't even remember what it was. And I just remember him saying, "Oh my God, I love you so much." Just that like stupid me thing that I said.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that was the moment that I actually fully was able to receive his love. It was like a breakthrough of like the receiving portion of, oh my God, that's unconditional love. And so sometimes it hits you in the face, but you don't see it.
Mm-hmm.
But you also have to be very aware of that. You have to be like extremely aware of the fact that maybe someone does love you. Maybe they're the ones on that list. Maybe they're the ones on that plan. Do you know how to receive his love? So that's another, I would say, just like something super important that I just wanted to say.
Sweet.
And
I
like,
always like to say that receptivity is the feminine's greatest superpower, and we just don't live in a feminine dominant reality. We live in a very masculine dominant reality, and so that superpower of being able to receive, it's really steeped in self-worth, and so it sounds like, and this is one of the beautiful things about relationship, is you get this mirror to look into. Oh my God, I am actually worthy of that. Can I receive that level of love? And that's this amazing man would like love this stupid quirky thing that I say, like, and find so much joy in that. Is it's that's the goal, right? That's the
It's like
jackpot.
being really seen. I think that that's when those breakthroughs and like, wow, I must really be lovable because this person is like gushing on me, and I'm in this like this other part of myself that I don't think of as maybe lovable or charming
Or sexy or any of the
but it
pieces.
really is
Yeah.
me. Like it's the unfiltered me. And
Mhm.
somehow they're able to reflect back to us, I like the unfiltered you. I like the one that's so real right now and is unguarded and is showing themselves. And I think that requires, in order to receive love, you have to be vulnerable enough to let the love in, because the two go hand in hand. It's hard to, it's the hardest, I should say, the hardest thing to receive is to get that love when you are the most vulnerable and you are the most unfiltered, and suddenly that is obvious to you, and it's like, oh, holy shit. It's like, it's those big moments in life. Those are real reflection, not reflection, it's pivot,
Inflection.
inflection. Thank you inflection points where it's like something lands and it changes you forever. So thanks for sharing that with us. I'm curious, who do you work with? Or do you work with men? Do you work just with women
so
pursuing their a better dating experience?
So usually women, although
Okay.
although all my tips and I would say my book would be very
Applicable.
well, to men. I think they should do the same things. I think they should get better pictures. I think they should do better bios. I think that women pay attention more than men usually. So if you are a man that wants a better woman, that's what you should do.
And statistically, women are more successful than men on these dating apps. So women are doing something different. They held more power around whether men have sex or not. So it's like this real key. They're saying that like there's 80% of men who are missing out and in the dating world. And so it seems like the people who need it the most are actually men who need this coaching from you.
But also, like, really, it's marketing 101. Seriously,
I
think
would
about
think-
it. If you
I
have a
would think-
business,
Go ahead.
if you have a business, like if you're a man and you have a business, just think how you would implement any strategy of your business to your dating app. Seriously. That's all I would say.
Well, I don't know if the guys who own companies and are running businesses are the ones who are struggling in the dating world. I think it's all the guys that maybe who don't have an
I think all
understanding
kinds of
business.
guys from all walks of life are struggling
Okay.
in the
Same.
dating world.
Yeah,
Gotcha.
same. I'm telling you, I have dated CFOs. I have dated biotech company owners. I have like serious, and that was my experience, by the way, because I filtered so wisely, because I had a plan. I really I hear I had so much outside noise saying our divorcees are like, oh my God, it's like all the junk, all the trash. I hear that on the Drew Barrymore show.
Barrymore.
Show
Yeah.
that she says like, what's a dating app? Dating app is where all the trash end up to. And I think to myself, I got married via dating app. My brother got married via dating app.
So many people
that I know that got married on a dating app.
Mhm.
So maybe you're doing something that isn't right on that dating app by filtering the wrong types of people. So maybe you don't have a plan, because you can't blame the app. If there's so much success stories and some little unsuccessful stories, maybe you should check out why you're not succeeding. A/B testing, for instance. would
Yeah.
be helpful in this situation.
Very good. Awesome.
Yeah.
Okay, so you've got a really cool free gift for our audience called Date Like a CEO, a 5-step playbook to love with strategy. And we'll put a link for that in the show notes. And tell us how else our audience can find you. Are you speaking regularly? I know you have a website, but how can our audience really utilize this incredible wealth of wisdom that you've uncovered?
So I'm going to I obviously have my Pause Interactive Agency, which is my marketing agency. You can always find me there. You can find me on my Instagram, Meirav Rosenberg. And that would be probably where I place most of my content. But I also updated a new one on my writing the book journey that I've just started. And I guess that's where you will be finding me more and more, speaking more and more about what are the things that I am or I did or what I am doing, or even in the relationship itself that took me to where I wanted to be. And I think that's best to find me there. And hopefully, it will get bigger and bigger, and more people would want to know, I think, how to be more resilient. And I feel like I have so many friends that have already heard me speak at one point or another. And I remember a colleague of mine that she was following me for a very long time saying, "Oh my God, I'm only on date 33, but you did 60. So I'm good. I could go more. If you did 60, I could do 60. And I hope it doesn't get there, but I'm only at 33 and I'm keep going." And so hopefully I give people as much strength as possible. And even if you have been on more than 60 dates, maybe you should just make yourself a little bit more accurate and to the point and on plan. And then obviously download the PDF that will be on the Instagram as well. And I hope it gives you more options.
Yay.
Great.
I love it.
Thank you
Awesome.
so much.
Such a
Really
pleasure.
appreciate
Let
being
us
on the
know when the
show.
book is ready, published, and
course.
good to go. We'll have you back on the show.
Thank you so much for having me. I had the best time.
Yay.
All right.
I really did.
Well, we
Yeah.
so appreciate you.
We did
Up
too.
next, everyone, is The Dish with Dr. Willow and myself. So don't go anywhere.
Now, our favorite part, the dish.
Hey, let's dish it
Hey,
up on
dish time.
Meirav Rosenberg. It's so fun that we had this interview today because I was literally just thinking about her, and I haven't met her yet. I've just heard about her through my coach, my Israeli coach, Ziv. And I was like, I wonder what, did she ever get scheduled? I'd just been thinking about her like a day or two ago because I was like, I don't know. I think about getting on dating apps. That's as far as I go usually. I just think about it for like a hot second. And then I'm like, I don't have any fucking time to get on a dating app.
Should do it because I think it'd be a really fun adventure that we could talk about on the show.
I know you do. I know you
Do it
think
for
that.
science. Come on.
Do it for the audience. All right, I'll
yeah.
get there. I got to clean up a few million other projects first.
Let us live vicariously through you.
Okay, well, you too.
And I think it'd be fun. I think it'd be interesting. We've had how many dating experts on the show?
I don't know.
At least
good question.
3. And Jennifer was one. She was really an expert in helping people who are doing the poly open relationship thing. She introduced us to the app Field. Then we had another one. I'll put it in the show notes. Her name isn't popping, but she had a lot of great dating strategies for online dating. She spoke quite a bit about paying attention to the profile in an interesting way. And I really loved what Meirav had to say around the A/B testing. Never heard of that strategy before. And I think, think about, okay, here's some conservative pictures. Here's some more risque pictures.
Who
and
are you pulling in with the different pictures?
What's the quality of the
like
people you're
these
pulling
people?
in?
Yeah.
Yeah. Does it align? Maybe you want a little more sexual energy in your what you're attracting, or maybe you want someone who's more serious and who's looking for other things other than just sex. And who knows, right? But interesting way to coach yourself into exploring and finding the right match.
Absolutely.
The
I feel like
KPI,
what I'm going
baby.
to find on the dating apps is probably one of my resistances to it is a lot of clients. lot of potential clients.
Well,
And
we're having Deva on, and he gets a
he's
lot of
all about,
clients
he gets clients
by
that way.
utilizing that strategy on
Mhm.
dating apps. I just don't have the patience to do that kind of screening.
I don't
From a
either. I mean,
professional
it's
standpoint,
just
like,
another
ugh.
project, it feels
Yeah.
like. Ooh, I don't know, but it could be fun. It could be fun. I promise. I will get on a dating app at some point, unless my true beloved just falls out of the tree the next time I walk down the street. But for you all, I will do it.
I was on a dating app for about half a minute in between partners, and ended up just going, this isn't for me, mainly because I didn't know how to make sense of my career.
Yeah.
It's just like you. It's kind of like, I don't want people to date me because they're curious about Tantra, and I don't
Yeah.
want to treat my career as something that I'm hiding, and I
Yeah.
didn't know how to resolve the
There's
two.
a
Like,
lot
do I
of
put
that.
it on? Do I not put it on?
Totally.
Because if someone is going to have issues with what I do for a living, don't waste my time.
Exactly. Yeah.
So all of that is
Tricky when you're a
tricky.
Tantra teacher and expert and guide.
Right, but if I had to do it again, she's really bringing a lot of creativity to the table. I loved that she put her Spotify playlist. I loved that she was like, I know how to order the best thing on the menu. I would value that in a partner.
You sure would.
I tell you what,
I'm going to
Charles
put that on
Muir-
my dating app because I also order the best thing on the menu every time.
Well, there's no one better to go out to eat with than Charles Muir, who orders everything on the menu, and you get to try it all. And I love that. I also gained 60
if you
pounds
can
when I
stomach
was
everything
pregnant.
on the menu. See, for me, that wouldn't be a joy. I don't want to eat everything on the menu.
I want to try everything on the menu.
I know, you
Definitely.
like
but I don't
to.
want to eat it all. I just want
Yeah.
to try it. I
Yeah,
want the
a
perfect
little
bite of everything.
taste. Yeah,
And
exactly.
I always end up ordering something and then prefer what someone else ordered. And then I just want to eat off their plate and ignore mine. So that's also a thing.
Mhm.
So that would really appeal to me. Someone who has that talent.
That's a good talent to have, for sure.
One thing for those people who are watching the episode, you could see just a gorgeous girl. But I also notice, which can be like a pet peeve of people, and they may not realize this, when someone isn't looking in the camera, oftentimes it's because their camera's in one location, their screen is in another location. So they're looking to the people that they're talking to on the screen, not realizing that their camera isn't angled right. So you don't.
I wonder how many of
So there's
our
never eye
audience
contact.
members care about this at all. Let us know, because I'd be curious.
The reason why I mentioned it is because with Om, I think the same thing's happening with Om. And then people are like, well, why isn't he looking at the screen? He always looks like he's looking down. Well,
He's
that's
looking
because that's where his
down
screen is
at
versus
people
where
he's
the
talking
camera
to.
is.
Yeah.
So I do know it annoys. And I just want to say, don't let it annoy you. It's a simple thing. And I almost stopped the interview to have her just... Because I knew, like,
Leah's clearly our quality control.
I'm an aesthetic person.
Thank God. And thank God for her. Thank you, God, for bringing me Leah.
My brain works in a specific, detailed way. And when things are askew, it's distracting.
Yeah.
Though I wasn't distracted. I was just feeling the people who I know would be distracted by.
Yeah, totally.
Whatever.
Yeah, so she was great. She's amazing. Check her out. She's got a phenomenal gift for you all. I think it's definitely, I'm going to check it out. It's going to sit on the sideline for a minute or two while I wrap up other projects. But I do want to check out her little freebie. And, I really I did get more excited about, like, okay, this is a game, it's instead of like I'm going out dating. Cause like anytime you say, oh yeah, dating, people are always like, oh, dating sucks, but actually I enjoy it. I mean, going out, getting to know people, understanding who they are. I like people though, so.
Yeah. Hopefully if you're dating, you've gotten a perspective shift from listening to this episode, and maybe you feel re-inspired to shift your attitude and to say, yeah, well, let's play this game and have a great time, and really take a look at it from this. I'm allowing myself to be influenced and to be teachable, and I'm available to give my gifts and improve this person's life, regardless if it goes anywhere. Maybe a little piece of me will be integrated so that they can have a better experience dating someone as they continue on their journey towards the beloved.
Ding, ding.
I think that's a good attitude to have.
Gift for them. Yeah,
that's right.
God bless.
I know something. You listeners are a gift to us, and we thank you so much for being here. Please drop us a comment, hit subscribe, do the liking, and we will be in touch in the comments. Love ya.
Ciao.
Thanks for tuning in. This episode was hosted by Tantric Sex Master Coach and Positive Psychology Facilitator Leah Piper, as well as by Chinese and Functional Medicine Doctor and Taoist Sexology Teacher Dr. Willow Brown. Don't forget, your comments, likes, subscribes, and suggestions matter. Let's realize this new world together.
Hey guys, what would it be like if you could last 10 times longer when you're having sex?
We are going to teach you how to gain massive confidence as a lover, all without performance anxiety, gimmicks, or prescription.
This course is perfect for you if you've ever been mortified by a sexual encounter that ended way too early.
Or if you've ever avoided intimacy out of fear that you won't last as long as your lover desires. Or maybe you long to give your partner multiple orgasms but can't last long enough to make that a reality.
Well, good news, we've got your back, and it's in our course, Last 10 Times Longer. Go to sexreimagined.com/last-10x-longer.
And for all of our favorite listeners out there, we are giving you a discount, 20% off, y'all. Just put in podcast 20, all caps, podcast 20, to get your 20% off of this phenomenal course that you're going to want to review more than once.
We cannot wait to see you inside this course. Plus, don't forget, we always got tons of bonuses. See you there.